Well, g'day. How are you? Welcome to another episode of CDV EV news from around Australia and stuff that's important to Australia. While I walk around the paddock here, trying not to dodge poop. Trying to dodge poop. But yeah. Anyway, some interesting things happened in the last couple of days, that's for sure. First up was obviously the Tesla stuff, FSD, which I'll get to shortly. But first up, there's some more interesting stuff's been happening as well. Well, maybe not more interesting. If you think it's more interesting, I don't know. I think it's all interesting, so let's get started. So basically, first up, we've got Polestar versus the car lobby, which is interesting. Well, we've heard Mitsubishi say that, Australia's not ready for EVs and try and blow smoke up our asses and tell us we don't want EVs, which is bullshit. But Polestar's now chiming in, basically saying, well, the real roadblock isn't infrastructure, it's the car lobby groups. And by the car lobby groups, I'm talking about the FCAI, Federal Chamber of Automotive Industries. They're the ones that told us that we can't have grain import cars from Europe because they think of the dealerships and the spare parts they're going to sell you, and the cars won't be supported by the dealerships and warranty and all that sort of stuff. So ban grain imports because, it's better for the consumer that they pay more money for the same car to be delivered to Australia via a dealership here. Can't have the grain imports taking away money. Anyway, I digest. Yes, do so much. So, Polestar's MD is Scott Maynard. And he says the Federal Chamber of Automotive Industries spreading unfounded fears about EV standards. So basically, what they're saying is we're blaming the market for not wanting EVs when it's really just their own reluctance to stop selling petrol SUVs and diesel utes with chrome grills. That's pretty much it. It's like saying nobody wants salad when all you're selling is sausages and steaks, which is pretty much it. So under Labor's new rules, car makers get fined 100 grams per CO2 their fleet average emits. So obviously EV makers don't emit any CO2, so they get to sell credits. But petrol EV brands, well, they're just going to keep selling us excuses, which is what they do quite well. So basically, EV sales have hit 10% of all new car sales in Australia. Polestar sales are up 23%, which is great news for Polestar, especially with the Polestar 4 coming out soon. But they're so while they're saying the market's not interested, plenty of buyers clearly didn't get the memo on that one because we're still buying EVs at record levels, which is great. So basically, while Mitsubishi's saying it's not me, it's you, it's not selling EVs, other brands are actually still quietly getting on with it by introducing low emission models while publicly resisting the standards via their lobby group, the FCAI. It's like snaking kale into your burger while tweeting about how salad will ruin your lives. So basically, the FCAI take is the standards don't reflect actual buyer behaviour. They're saying that EVs are too expensive, too niche, too aspirational, which is rich, coming from the industry that represents mobs that sell $80,000 utes that do nothing but belch pollution and damage our lungs. So, you've got to sell that ARB catalogue to the $80,000 Land Cruiser ute that's going to drive around the urban car park all its life. EVs are too niche apparently. Beautiful sunset today. Fantastic. See over here, across the valley. It's great. Noise in the background. Sally's got a drone flying around because it's no wind. It's a beautiful day. It's 5 degrees. I'm wearing a t-shirt. Yes, I'm local now. How about that? Anyway, speaking of flying, Denmark has the first electric flight. Future has taken off, and quietly. So basically what they've done is they've launched its first all-domestic electric flight. So using no fuel, no noise. It says here no noise, no emissions. No emissions, no fuel. Yes, noise. Well, you're pushing air backwards really fast with a propeller. That's going to make noise. That's where the majority of the noise comes from aircraft these days. You're physically moving a lot of air rapidly to, to fly. So there's always going to be noise. Not as loud, but there will still always be noise with electric flight. So if someone like me who's worked in aviation all my life, it's actually quite a good thing. As I run the shadow across my face. How about that? That's me, professional out here. There's the drone cruising around over there. Look at the photos. So yeah, basically what happened is, they called it the flight is the Alia Seatol by Beta Technologies. It flew 200 kilometres from Sondenborg to Copenhagen. Hope I'm not pronouncing those names wrong. I don't get Copenhagen right for an Australian. But it's a fixed wing electric aircraft, 15 metre wingspan, top speed of around about 150 knots, not too bad, or about 281 kilometres an hour. And a range of up to 335 nautical miles, or about 622 kilometres. Which isn't too bad. If you're leaving Sydney, 600 k's will get you to most places, as far as Dubbo and up the north coast, south coast. Does come with challenges, of course. Charging. The plane can charge in about 20 to 40 minutes, which isn't too bad using an EV standard fast charger, assuming CCS2, which if it's a training aircraft, perfect for pre-flights and pre-flight briefings and debriefings. They do charge while you're doing your groundwork before you go fly, which is great. It's aircraft or aircraft, sorry, since airports aren't exactly overflowing with CCS charger plugs, it's got to carry its own charger, which means weight, which means less weight for the batteries, means it's shorter range. So once that's sorted, longer range again. Denmark wants all domestic flights to be fossil fuel free by 2030, which is great. And of course, people are probably going to say, yeah, but Australia won't work. Well, yeah, obviously Australia's far bigger. But Denmark being a smaller country, 600 k's of range will probably cover most of the country quite easily, which is great news. So no more burning avgas. But yeah, Sweden has similar goals to Denmark, aiming for all electric flights or hybrid by 2040. Well, I plan on building a hybrid aircraft one day if I just win that lotto. I mean, I just got to pick some numbers. I mean, how hard can it be? I've been trying for a while, unfortunately. But meanwhile, the rest of Europe and America and the rest of the world is debating about SAF, which is sustainable aviation fuels. Hydrogen, it's pure wishful thinking with hydrogen anyway, but my bet's on SAF, sustainable aviation fuel, which is supposed to be a drop-in replacement for avgas and avtur, stuff like that. Avtur is jet fuel, avtur fuel. Avgas, aviation gasoline. Thank Americans for gas for liquid, but anyway. Or even using biomass. I don't know how that works. You're going to burn, like, I don't know, old poop or something on an aircraft. That doesn't make sense to me, but we'll get there in the end, obviously. We sort of have to, really, don't we? Battery weight is obviously the elephant in the cargo hold, because batteries are heavy and they don't lose weight while you're flying, unlike, liquid fuels. The further you go, the more fuel burn off, the lighter aircraft gets, which is great. Batteries doesn't happen. So landing weights are going to be very similar to your takeoff weights. Is that including toilet tanks? I mean, the passengers get on board with full bladders, you feed them, they go to the toilet, the tank, I don't know how that works. Some people must want to figure that out, but yeah. So yes, I was saying about the Tesla. As you know, Tesla Model Y is coming out with the L version. The Tesla Model Y is coming out. I mean, Tesla is coming out with a Model Y L version, the long version. It's released in China. I don't know if it's coming to Australia or not. I think it would be good to come to Australia because we don't have a Model X. This version of the Model Y is just a little bit smaller than the Model X. Not by much. I think it's like 40 mil or something, 4 centimeters, that big. But the wheelbase is longer than a Model X, and apparently it's a true 6-seater. So which means the back row will be able to fit adults, not just little tiny kids. So that's fantastic news from Tesla. As well as FSD. As we all know, FSD has been spotted, well, not spotted, self-incriminating evidence, I guess, when you film yourself driving around Sydney with full FSD across Harbour Bridge, no less, and not freaking out about the speed traffic signs across the top of the motorway. I really like to see it tried on proper Australian roads, like roads out here with potholes and windy corners and steep descents and steep climbs, and the M4 and the Eastern Distributor Tunnel and the M5 tunnel. You got those red circular speed signs across the road, which the car always thinks is a set of lights and will start hitting the brakes, despite you doing 110 k's an hour and it's smashing the brakes, thinking, stopping for traffic control, when it's obviously not, because it's on a motorway on Navigate and Autopilot. Come on, Tesla, sort it. Can't be that hard, can it? Navigate and Autopilot, your motorway, ignore, red warning lights, red speed signs above the horizon, maybe, something like that. But yeah, interesting developments in Tesla coming on there. So, I think that's pretty much it for this video. What do you think? I've got a few more coming very shortly because there's been lots of news, and this video is getting around about the 10 minutes length, which I hope people don't find too long, or is it too short? I'm not exactly sure. I find 10-minute videos seem to be around about right, which is good for not my many viewers, but I do appreciate every single one of you, especially when I don't look at the sun, so you can't see my face, which is kind of weird because I'm actually a professional at this. And look, poop. Apart from that, property's doing fine. Bits of snow occasionally. We've got more snow coming next week, which is great news. Hopefully we'll be here for that because I'm bouncing around between South Coast a bit. A lot has been happening recently. I've got a video coming on what's happening with the property. Basically, nothing happened for months, and now all of a sudden everything's happened, and I got another job now, and I can't be here to film it all the time, and I don't have access to my computer doing the job down there for reasons. But yeah, it's taken some time to get some stuff sorted, so I apologise for that. But I'm definitely trying. I'm trying to get life sorted out to a point where I can actually find time to do this sort of thing. So if you got this far, I really appreciate it. I hope you will. Thanks for watching, and please do the thing like, comment, subscribe, share, that sort of thing, because I don't get paid for any of this stuff. I do it for the fun, and I do it because I love EV news and renewables, and getting a lot of exercise holding this camera up with my phone attached to it so I can read my notes. So thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I'll speak to you all in my next video. Bye.